Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening. Thank you for joining us. We have a packed house this evening, exciting stuff going on. I'd like to call to order the school board meeting for the Washington-Saukville School District on the day of a solar eclipse. What a great day for science and education. We have a lot going on, so I think we're going to start with, as we always do, the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a flag back there and a flag up here. It'd be great if the kids led us in this. Ready? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fantastic. First order of business, we have Ms. Denk here with Dunwoody Music Group, who's going to perform to us and give us a little bit of what they've been doing this year and what special song they're going to share with us.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Denk. I'm a music teacher from Dunwoody, and I'm actually going to let the stars of the show do our introductions for you. So we'll start there. Are they in order? Okay. Go ahead.
Hello, we are some of the 50 students who participate in the Dunwoody 3rd and 4th grade choir on Thursday mornings. We signed up for choir because we love to sing and we love to make music with our friends.
But before we sing, we would like to highlight a few of the ways our school district enables students like us to develop our creativity, talent, and passion for lifelong learning through music.
To start, students receive a strong foundation in music at all 3 elementary schools thanks to having full-time music teachers in each building this year.
Most of us will continue in some form of music for many years. We look forward to the fantastic choir, band, and theater programs waiting for us as we move on to middle and high school.
Speaking of fantastic programs, we love letting our talent shine extra bright when we perform in the high school stage each year. Having a new stage manager for the PAC will make sure we continue to use this wonderful facility to its full potential.
None of this would be possible without a community that shows such strong support for the arts. Did you hear that Port Washington has once again earned the NAMM Best Communities for Music Education distinction?
We want to thank the school board for the dedication you showed in providing a well-rounded education to every student in the Port Washington-Saukville School District.
And what better way to do that than by singing one of our favorite songs for you? It is called Waving Flag and was featured in the 2010 World Cup Soccer Tournament. We hope you enjoy it as much as we do.
Take the field now, unify us, make us us feel proud. In the streets our heads are lifting as we lose our inhibition. Celebration, it surrounds us. Every nation, all around us, singing forever young, singing songs underneath the sun. Let's rejoice at the beautiful game, and together at the end of the day, we all sing, when I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving. When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like a waving flag. So wave your flag, and wave your flag, and wave your flag. Oh, 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 oh.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us this evening.
Yes, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to showcase our kiddos today. I'm very proud of each and every one of them. Some had conflicts tonight and were able to make arrangements to be here. And a big thank you to Erin for organizing this as well, and for her hard work with our students on our early Thursday mornings when they come to school before the school day starts to get their practice in and be who they are. So thank you.
Reach behind you guys, stay right here. They want to take a picture. You guys, can we have like some of our, here a little bit taller, come towards the back? We have some.
So I guess we're really short. I'm just going to stay right here. I'm really bad. Oh, but take a picture. You gotta go on the front. I mean, let the lady.
Yep, there. Now everybody go around her.
Ow. I'm so scared. Wait.
I want to thank you all for coming and sharing your talents and your hard work throughout the year, getting to school early and working hard. So I hope you guys do continue music throughout your time here. We have a great program, as you stated, and we love to see you guys grow and come back and share your talents as you move on through middle school and high school, and see you up on the stage up there. So once again, thank you for the teachers and the programs and all of you for coming and sharing your talents.
And to the parents as well. Thank you.
Yeah, parents, yes.
Being here also.
And you're welcome to go.
Okay, we can we're walking towards I know, I'm waiting for my mother. Where are you at? This disc's rolling. I'm mad that I started with it though.
Okay, always an enjoyable time when students come and share their stuff. On to outgoing board members. We have Danielle, who's done 3 years of service for us. And we have Doug, who has put in 6 years of service here, and myself. So yep, done.
I'm going to take it over.
so I'm going to take it from here. I honestly am not going to have the words to do justice for the 20-plus years of service that is going to be departing us here shortly. And I want to take the opportunity to thank you all individually. So Danielle, I've truly appreciated getting to know you and work with you on the board. 3 years is about this. We've on the same track record here. And and it's been, honestly, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun working on the operations committee with you and getting to know where your specialties lie and your questions. And I've really, truly admired you digging in and making sure that you understand everything, and especially when it comes to the operations, special education, and the areas of specialty that you so much admire. And the board will definitely cherish the time that you've put in and never forget the impact that you've had on our students, our staff, and everybody around us. So I just want to say for the 3 years that you and I have had the pleasure working, and I hope that we have many more opportunities to work together, maybe not in this capacity. However, many more years to come. So congratulations and thank you so much for all the years of service. I know we have a plaque, and Heidi did a fantastic job getting them a little bit more modern looking, so I appreciate that. So with that, I do want to say thank you so much.
I'll get a group picture at the end, if that's all right.
You got married and had a baby.
I know, all within 1 year. Doug. Thank you, here's your plaque. And I'm kidding. he asks, he goes, please don't make this long. And I'm like, okay, well, no, honestly, I cannot even imagine. 6 years on the board, and I know I have had the pleasure when I first started here in the district, my seat was right next to you. And I remember going, you're asking me questions, and we're asking questions, and after the board meeting, you'd ask me financial questions, and I've always appreciated, and I think everybody in our community should be very grateful for the questions that you ask when it comes to the financial and the business services, specifically around our district. I know you have a passion for our district, for the district that your kids go to, and for the athletics and for the activities that we host, and it really truly has been an honor getting to know you and answering your questions, whether they're on a weekend or at night when you call me, or even in the board meeting when you're sitting next to me. I have missed the spot next to you, though. I was hoping we'd get that spot back. But I really do want to thank you, and I think on behalf of the community, on behalf of the school, staff, and students, truly appreciate it. So thank you.
Auditorium.
It was COVID. It was great. Out in the auditorium. First meeting. First day I started. I was in the auditorium. It was a fun night. Okay, so last but not least, and I truly am not going to have the words, and it's been an honor working side by side with you in multiple capacities. I have never met, and I've seen a fair share of board members and board presidents come through, and this entire board, and I'm not going to speak for them, but I will speak on behalf of the district, is so fortunate to have a board president that cares as deeply as you do about everyone in this district and is so invested. I have never met somebody who spends more time on the board as a president, meeting with me, meeting with staff, meeting with the community, answering emails in a timely manner, and with passion and true love for what you're doing and for doing the best you can and the best that we can be as a district. And I have thought long and hard about, I sent an email with the thank yous from another mother to a mother, from a staff member in the district, from sitting around the board and shooting ideas, from the foundation to everything that you have had your hands on. We are so grateful. And I am so grateful, and I have learned an immense amount from you. So I just want to truly thank you for the impact you've had on me personally, for the rest of my life, and for everyone around this table and the community. The community is so grateful and should be so grateful and appreciative of everything you have done for this district and everything you've done for their children. It's been an amazing journey. It's been a tough one at times, just at times. And wouldn't change it for the world, because I got to experience it with you, side by side with you, and then learn from you as well. And you helped me grow into a better leader and a better staff member, and I think we all have been. So I appreciate everything you've done. And I will open it to anybody else because I know I'm not going to do the words or justice, and I know if I keep talking, I'm probably going to cry, which I'm not usually a crier, so I'm going to just stop right there then. So with that, you do get this is a tradition, bell. So again, 3 years, I'm a little new, so rusty at this, but apparently, so I also am just 12 years of service to the community and to this board is not something you see in many, if at all, any districts. And to go through some of the experiences you had through Act 10, and then also, through the end of Act 10, and then also the COVID. COVID in itself. So I know it hasn't been an easy journey, and I thank you very much. So thank you. Okay. We're gonna have to get a picture. And does anybody else wanna?
Can I just say
Yvonne,
thank you
yeah.
to the three? So Daniel, I really appreciate you joined on as a teacher. So the classroom teacher and that load itself, and then coming through the COVID and having a baby, building a house, and still digging in and asking those questions and being on that operational side, which I don't always understand, so I'm always asking questions. Thank you so much. And Doug, from the very first time, me asking questions, you have always made me think and reflect and think and reflect, and I really, really appreciate that. We will miss that financial perspective that you bring, and I love it because you are right to the point, which we also need that because I know sometimes I'm out here on Pluto and you have to bring me in, and I appreciate that, and that will be missed. And Brenda, not gonna cry either, but your positive leadership, we need to remember we're about that human business, and you do it with a heart. I just need to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I know that is how we feel. We know the hours and hours you have put into this job. That's not really a job, but we take it on. So thank you. And enjoy those adventures with your family. That's it.
I'm just going to say just a few quick things. Danielle, I'm so excited that I get to still see you and be in your circle of your life. And so while I'm sad to see you leave from here, I'm really grateful for that. Brenda, I don't know how you've done it. I truly don't know if people can comprehend your commitment to public education in our community. The time, the energy, the leadership that we have been gifted by you for 12 years. So I'm truly, truly grateful for that. And Scarecrow, I'm going to miss you most of all because I get to sit next to you, but I'm very excited that I get to see you at music events with our daughters. So thank you, everyone.
Doug's not going to let me talk anymore. He's had enough. Yeah, it's all been said, but thank you so much for the grace that you've all led with and the respect for your fellow board members. And yeah, I can't say anymore. But thank you for your service because you really have kept children at the forefront of your decision making. And our children for this district are better off for it. Do either of you two want to say anything? Doug?
I don't think people realize, Brenda, how much time and effort to be a president
I'm going to say thank you to both of you, too. I've just been honored and privileged to be on this board for 12 years. The people that serve on here are phenomenal. I wouldn't have stayed 12 years had the board itself not be such a cohesive working dynamic that brings a lot of different viewpoints and a lot of different perspectives that make decision-making work for this district. And my third son, my last child graduates, in May, so this is a closer of a lot of things. But I couldn't be more grateful for the district and the administrators and the staff that we as a board get to work with, but that I've seen my kids grow here as well. So we are very lucky to have this place here in this community, and I'm grateful to have been asked to be the president and serve on this board, and it's been a great time. So thank you, and continue working forward, because the people that are sitting here and coming on are going to do great stuff as well as we move forward. So we still have a great board coming on. So thank you very much, and we're going to move on to to our student council.
Brenda, it is tradition to ring the bell.
To ring the bell?
It is tradition. It's the ringing of the bell. Now or at the end? Or at the end of the meeting, either way.
Oh, at the end of the meeting.
We have another meeting, but.
Okay, we'll do it at the end of the meeting. That's how I'll adjourn. I don't even use the gavel, much less a bell.
Do you want to do the picture at the end? Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we'll do the picture at the end, yes. Yeah. Okay, come on up, student council.
I also want to say thank you to all the board members, especially you. I remember the first time we met, you gave me a gift card to McDonald's because we sang at a board meeting. I love gift cards. Okay, so my name's Lily Amaro, and I'm the upperclassmen liaison, so I'm just going to I'll try to make it quick. Just a rundown of what the student body has been doing. So first, choir, we did just get back from our Hawaii trip. Miss Crane, best chaperone ever. I'm not gonna cry. She knows how much I cried at that trip. And we just had Acapocalypse this past weekend as well. It was a great turnout. A ton of the student council members are in choir, and we all went to Acapocalypse Saturday. I performed my first solo. It was really scary, but I did it, and so that was just a lot of fun. Choir's doing a lot of stuff right now, and the next thing we have is All That Jazz concert on April 17th. It's a Wednesday. Highly suggest you guys come. Next, for sports, we have a track meet this Thursday at Homestead. Softball and baseball kicked off their seasons today. Weather finally cooperated. Girls soccer has also started, so they've been playing some games now for a while. The ACT, a lot of us, we all got our scores back, and we all did very good. I'm very happy with everyone, happy how I did. I know a lot of people improved, so I think we did improve by 2 points as a collective grade. Yes, it was really good. That was our goal, and I know grand. Yeah, no, we did good. So I know a lot of us are looking to retake it too, just because we want to improve on that as well. So that went really well. And then the sophomores have their pre-ACT next Tuesday, so us juniors and seniors get off Monday and Tuesday, so that'll be nice. And then also the Kiwanis Club, so High Honors, is getting recognized on April 24th, I want to say. So that's just something that they get honored for having academic honors. And lastly, we have prom coming up, and I just want to say that everything went so good. We got so many donations. We are all set for prom, and everything is starting to come together now. So our prom committee is hard at work right now, setting things up as we get closer and closer. And yeah, and then for student council, there's not a lot going on right now. A lot of us are working on the prom committee, so that's kind of our main focus right now, and then choir activities as well. But we are going to have an end of the year, I think. We haven't run that by you guys yet, but I think we're going to have another assembly at the end of the year and spirit days to finish off the season before our finals. Not season, just hit sports. Just finish off the year before our finals. So yes, that's it. Thanks. Thanks. Bye, guys.
We will now open up to public comments.
I don't know when else to say this, and I'm presenting later. But Abby Ray Flab, I'm a parent, I'm a teacher, I'm a lot of stuff in the community. But I just want to say thank you as a community member, parent, obviously the music teacher who has spoken and brought kids in front of you so many times for our BAC manager position. He started on Tuesday, and I got to spend the whole weekend with him at Acapocalypse, and just the change even within our department and the presentation that was put on in front of the community on a day when the district internet went out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we had to figure out some tech things, and he took it all and ran with it. And I just want to thank you publicly for voting for that position and helping us to just be able to celebrate the things that we do with the right kinds of people on board with that. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. So thank you for that.
Any others?
Okay. Back in the corner. Hi, Sandy Crane, teacher, parent, and I just want to personally thank the three of you who are leaving. Danielle, I don't know you very well, but you came in at a crazy time in this district. And again, like everyone else said, you always ask good questions. You're open-minded. To be so young and to take a leadership position like this is really commendable, and I give you a lot of credit for that. I was not doing that when I was your age, so that's awesome, and good luck to you. Doug, we've had some conversations. I was president during COVID. Thank you for answering the phone, and like everyone else said, your questions, you're very clear-headed. I liked what Yvonne said. You're very good at keeping it all. Let's stay focused. Let's stay on task. And I think you're really important during that time as well. So, and thank you for picking up the phone, answering emails. And Brenda, we had a lot of conversations during that time. I can't imagine what it was like to be in your position when it felt like we were in a time, I know as an educator, we were a little bit afraid. We had many concerns. We didn't know what the future would bring. We didn't know what to do. The science was coming at us so fast and trying to figure everything out. And you just handled it so well and with grace and with honor and with the true intention of trying to do what was best, taking all of the things that were coming at you and just working through that. And I appreciated our conversations during that time as well. And for you being able to listen and being able to look at all of the sides and being an excellent leader. Thank you for your service.
Megan Jacoby, speaking as a teacher and PWSCA president, one right after the next. So, hello, good evening. Just a few things. At the high school, our juniors, as Lily told you, scored 2.28 points higher on the ACT this year than they did on the same test that they took as sophomores. And 82% of the junior class improved their composite score from last spring. And we want to thank the staff, students, and parents and guardians for preparing the students and encouraging them to do their best. We are so extremely proud of them. The freshmen and sophomores, as Lily stated, will be taking their pre-ACT next Tuesday, and we are running prep sessions again after school, similar to what we provided for our juniors. The prep advisors for these sessions welcomed over 180 students over 2 nights last week alone, and the final 2 nights will be taking place this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. On behalf of PWSCA, the membership of PWSCA would like to thank our outgoing school board members for their time and dedication over the years. Danielle, your experience as a student, educator, and now community parent has brought a fresh look to what school board involvement looks like. Doug, your open mind and financial background has fostered excellent discussion in how we utilize our funds in the best interest of students in this district. And Brenda, your willingness to listen, ask questions, and take part in sometimes difficult conversations for the support of students, staff, and the future of this district has been invaluable. Thank you each for the experiences and perspectives that you have brought to the table. We appreciate all that the three of you have done for the district and for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to consent agenda, and I'll ask if there is anything that wants to be pulled or questions, or if none, I will take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items A, B, and C.
Motion by Sarah,
Second.
second by Kirsten.
We'll do a roll call vote on that, beginning with Yvonne.
Aye.
Justin.
Aye.
Danielle.
Aye.
Kirsten.
Aye.
Doug.
Aye.
Sarah.
Aye.
Brian.
Aye.
And Brenda.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Next up, report and action on the summer school course catalog. I think we have Zach coming up for us.
All right. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we're here to talk about summer school. Zach is a consistent face you've seen present before. Again, Abby Rayflab. I am stepping in this year as the TJ summer school principal.
I'm Emma Cable. I'm currently a kindergarten teacher at Lincoln Elementary School, and I'll be stepping in as the elementary summer school principal.
Good evening, Zach Mueller, Community Engagement Coordinator, and this year, Summer School Coordinator. First off, thank you to Mel and Brenda for kind of being open to the transition that we've had at the leadership of our summer school. Jody Swagel and Dan and Jane as well at LES have been super involved. They're still super helpful, but they were open as well to kind of changing the leadership at the top, allowing me to take a kind of a bigger role, and then the opportunity for Emma and Abby to come on board. It's very cool kind of how the schools are separated, which we've kind of realized more and more in the past couple of years, that although it's, you know, the PWSSD summer school program, it's really very separate between Lincoln, TJ, and the high school with the different classes we're running. The staff is 99% separate. We have a couple that go both Lincoln and TJ. So it's really awesome to have two superstars as principals coming in to look after those schools for the summer. So super excited about the new the program this year. Have another great year. So we just have a couple slides here just to focus on some of the highlights for this school year, or the summer school year for 2024. So when we talk about summer school, the grade 1 through 8 summer school, so the Lincoln and TJ, does differ slightly from the high school. Just it's a little more consistent with the schedule, where some of our classes at the high school, other than our 4-credit classes, can be a little more different with the schedule. So you'll see our schedule goes from Monday, June 17th to Thursday, June 27th. That's semester 1. We're fortunate to have the entire week off for the July 4th week, which is July 1st through 5th. So then we have to come back to have 4 more days to give us 12 total days in semester 1, from Monday, July 8th to Thursday, July 11th. Then we go 3 weeks of semester 2, and that's Monday, July 15th through Thursday, August 1st. Our schedule has stayed the same from 8 a.m. to 11:35 each day, and we are fortunate to have no classes on Fridays, which I know our teachers are super supportive of. They've always requested that when we send our surveys out at the end of the year. Even parents have requested that. Allows them an extra day for the weekend. For a lot of people don't even show up on Fridays when we had run it in the past. So it works out best that way for everyone.
And that's a change for this summer.
Yes, we did not do that last year. We did it 2 years ago.
Right.
So we're happy to go back to that. Do you guys want to talk about the schools?
Sure. So at Lincoln, we've been working to staff our open positions currently. So we have nearly every class filled at Lincoln, which is super exciting. We have those 6 intervention and jumpstart classes. Those focus on reading, writing, and math skills for students who need a little extra support going into the summer. And then we have 18 exploratory classes ranging with everything from like nature science to a POMS class to wrestling. So we have a wide variety for students, and we're really excited about that this summer.
At TJ, we are housing all the students that are entering 4th through 8th grade, so a slightly larger span of ages of students. We currently have 37 courses that we're, still some of which we're looking to staff. We have 8 different intervention and jumpstart classes, which again, just like the elementary level, include math, reading, literacy, writing, etc. And then some different intervention courses as well for students that need that support in the summer. And then we have 29 different exploratory classes, and it's a little different. At Lincoln, it tends to be more structured with this session is running this class both times. At TJ, we have a little more that's fluid in our schedule. So our wrestling class, for example, only runs session 1 and not session 2, things of that nature. So we've got a variety of different classes. We are still looking for some teachers. So anybody who's at home right now that has an education license and is looking for summer employment, we would be happy if you want to apply through. We can. Public service announcement there. But we did have a couple interviews in the last few days and have made a couple more hires even since Friday when we updated this last. So we're getting there. We're getting close with our filling of positions and such.
And if you looked at the links for the catalogs, those are live documents because we are constantly updating those based on our staffing. Those are all the classes we hope to run. We did add to them this year. We put red lettering next to each one to kind of show that we're still trying to hire for those positions. But in a perfect world, we'll get them all filled as soon as possible, and they'll all be ready to go when course request day comes. For the high school, so our students entering 9th and 12th grade, right now we have 16 courses. 2 of those classes are for elective credit. Those would be the PE and the art class. We're still looking to hire for the PE class. That's one we're definitely trying to fill so we can offer credit for that. We have our in-person credit recovery, which has been super successful the last couple of years to help those kids out that need to make up the classes that they struggled with during the school year. We have 3 AP prep classes, AP Lang, AP Psych, and AP Lit. All those teachers are confirmed to teach those classes this summer. So super excited about that and the opportunities we have for our high school students. I'll let Abby talk.
Yeah, sure. So I'm teaching one of these classes. But we have, over the summers, done a variety of different camps. So 2 of these are continuing. The Stars of Tomorrow is a camp that Dennis Gebhardt and I run with our choir students, 5th through 12th grade, and it's just a 4-day afternoon, a couple hours each afternoon. We do a showcase on the 11th, so if you're looking for a little music programming in your summer schedule, please join us on that day. We also are continuing our 5th grade band camp, which Adam Hackbarth, our band director, runs with a variety of other staff members from the community and other districts and neighboring, where they kick off and instruct all of the incoming 5th grade students, and that also ends in a showcase performance on the last day. And then new this year, and this is also later in our schedule, we are partnering with Park and Rec, and Tina Biddens, Corey Holloway are going to be our 2 instructors for this class. They had run it in the past, and we had talked to them about the possibility of doing a collaboration. So this year they're bringing Moana Junior, and our students that are participating in our summer school program, it'll run similar to our classes, all of session 1, and then the first week of session 2 in the afternoons. For our 1st through 7th grade students to be able to have some access to theater during the summer program as well this year. So that's something new. That's something we haven't done before, and we're really excited about that partnership with them. Their showcase is the 19th. They're going to perform a small portion of the show for some of our summer school students, and then they'll do an evening performance as well on that Friday. So that's, again, something new, something exciting, something a little different that we haven't been able to offer before. So.
Yeah, and credit to Abby for doing a lot of legwork on that. Like she mentioned, that is something that's been taking place at TJ for the last couple of years outside of summer school. So she knew them on the other side and knew they had the teaching license, so it just made sense to create that partnership. So great work on that, and it's going to be awesome and create more minutes for our summer school program, which is great, and more opportunity for the students.
Yeah.
So some new and revived courses. Over at Lincoln, a new course this year going to be taught by Mrs. Friedenberg. That'll be the summer social skills class. There's going to be a continuation of the SEL program that's taking place during our curriculum during the school year. Swim, we are happy to bring back swim during the regular summer school hours to our grades 1 through 3. If you recall, last year it was offered at 12:30 or 12:15, so outside of summer school hours. We were trying to avoid students walking back and forth, but we feel if it's only first period and we have the leadership to walk them over to Lincoln, we felt it was okay. So we're going to bring that back and be able to offer that for them. So I think parents will definitely appreciate that. For our grades 4 through 8, or for our TJ classes, we are, again, attempting to run our bowling class. We do have a teacher lined up this year, which we weren't able to find last year, so that'll be a cool opportunity for students to get out and go to the bowling alley for 2 hours. Bringing back sewing and design, which is a class we previously had. We have a teacher lined up for that, so that'd be awesome to utilize the sewing machines that we have. Acting class is another one. As Abby mentioned, that she was able to work with those teachers to a brand new class that we haven't offered before. Exploring world percussion. Previously it was called something else quite a while back.
World drumming,
playing on the big
something, yeah.
drums, which kids really enjoyed. We're bringing that back, which is awesome. And then theater camp, which Abby already mentioned, is brand new and something we're super excited about. And then a couple of course updates. So it's TJMS. So for our student leadership, that's our blue shirts. These are students that are kind of leaders in our school. They help kids with finding where their classes are, showing them where their classes are, helping with classes that might need additional help that we might not have an aide or a high school aide or a teacher's aide available to help with. They're basically doing anything they can to help make our program better. We have a teacher that technically runs the class, but they're really telling these students where to go and where they're needed. So an update to that is in the past it was incoming grade 7 and 8 students. This year we're going to bump that up to incoming grade 8 and 9 students. So great incoming freshmen can't be hired as high school aides for summer school. So this gives those upcoming or incoming 9th graders, freshmen, an opportunity to come back to the school that they're just graduating from. They probably know the school best, and they can work with those younger students to show them some of the different classes and opportunities within TJ and Lincoln as well. At the high school, just a quick note on our speed and strength program, just kind of revamping that a little bit, just trying to offer it to as many students as possible. We're kind of changing the times of the classes. In the past, we started at 8 a.m. We're going to bump that up to 7:30 for our more advanced students. And then we have an intermediate class, and then we have our introduction class, which we do offer to the 7th and 8th grade middle school students and give them an opportunity to come over during that 4th period of the normal 1 through 8 classes to come over and take part in the pirate strength and speed, or speed and strength, excuse me.
I think that's it.
That's all we have for slides. Do you have anything to offer?
I don't think so. If there are any questions you have from the board?
I have, the positions you haven't filled yet, are any of those intervention, or are all of the interventions are filled?
All the jump starts and interventions are all filled. So these are all exploratories that we're looking for teachers still.
Okay, great, thank you.
I was just wondering, as a question, have we reached out to retirees in the community?
That's a good question. They're on, many of them are on our list to sub, and they'll come in a day or two here and there. I know there, may be a board member or two that have some teaching licenses that could always come back and teach summer school if they were interested. And I don't know if there's a database that's easily accessible of retirees from
Yeah,
here.
we would provide that. I know we've asked that. We searched them out last year, and same thing as Abby, I will confirm, very much into we will sub, and but I don't know if a commitment for that span of time was something they were interested in.
We did
last year, but doesn't mean we can't reach out to them.
Yeah, I know Zach sent some emails out to local universities and things like that too, to get brand new teachers that are graduating in May, and we have a handful of those that we've set up with some different mentors, a couple that are leading some Jumpstart classes for us and things that will kind of have a mentor teacher for the summer, or for the start of the program to kind of get their feet wet with different things and get them some experience.
How's our pay in comparison to neighboring districts?
I think it's pretty good. It's been risen from 2 years ago.
Yes, so actually, starting last year was the first year we did an audit on the local school districts and what they were paying, and we are comparable in average to those around us.
Okay.
And our nearest neighbors, we're very competitive.
Okay.
Any more questions? None? Thank you very much. I know it takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of time to organize this, but I know it's also a very coveted program. The summer school systems for all grade levels are it's a great opportunity for our kids to like just continue in the summertime to not only continue their education, continue their connections with their school, continue their connections with their friends, and to just explore on a different level. So thank you very much. For some reason, we always seem to like fill all the blanks when it comes to teachers.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 summer school course catalog.
Second.
Motion by Sarah, second by Kirsten. Is it roll call?
Roll call vote on that. We'll start with Doug.
Aye.
Sarah.
Aye.
Brian.
Aye.
Brenda.
Aye.
Yvonne.
Aye.
Justin.
Aye.
Danielle.
Aye.
And Kirsten.
Aye.
Great, motion passed. Thank you.
Okay, on to superintendent items.
Yep, communications is under superintendent item. Yep. Just a quick note, we do have an updated year-at-a-glance calendar in the agenda. We are going to need action. So the one thing that's changed, we've worked with staff and received some feedback from staff that, if you recall, for next year, 24-25, we originally had the PD days, so professional development, before school started, separated into 2 days, the week of the 19th, and 2 days separated in the week of the 26th. The request has been made with overwhelming support and majority to have all 4 of those days in 1 week instead of spreading out over 2 weeks. So the update is truly around professional development days before school even starts. So that's the major change, and then that means new educator week will occur not the week of the 12th of August, but the week of the 19th, so the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Same 3 days, or 3 days in length. Nothing's changed there, but it also allows our HR department some extra, just a little extra time to get the new educators in our district and acclimated with everything that we need to for benefits and pay. So it gives us a little more time, it gives our staff more time, and it was something that they had requested, so we are bringing that back to welcome it's not a change from any other year. This is the setup that we've had historically. And then the only other typo that was on here was in October, it originally had K4 through 4, and it's actually supposed to be K through 8. It's the wording. So we updated that as long as we're bringing it back.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I'm still just going to bring up the whole idea of I would really like to see professional development days, teacher work days being the first day back after vacation. I know that sometimes it's difficult with the timing. For example, January 2nd is a Thursday, so to have kids come back, but I am going to continue to advocate for that teacher work day on the day back from vacation so that teachers can actually have vacation time without having to take work with them.
So can I ask a question about that idea and maybe get some clarity on it? So if I understand from the past why we don't see this PD on a day returning after a holiday is because we might not see enough staff there for the PDs. Is that correct?
Historically in the district, it's not been something this district has done. It's not a common practice. When I did the research after the first request, and Kirsten, you had made this request. I know West Bend, you said West Bend does it. The other districts don't seem to have that same schedule. It really does come down to a couple different things. Historical preference. We're trying to change a few things to accommodate staff for this calendar. No calendar is perfect. We all know a calendar is kind of the one thing that I don't know if anybody comes to an agreement on 100%. However, with that said, and I mentioned this last time too, I do think a survey is to the community and the greater community and our staff would be definitely in need here, because for our community's sake, given the demographics and given the staffing needs, and then our own community parents who may or may not be employed, coming back from a holiday and then having to take a holiday the day after, or a vacation the day after a holiday is sometimes frowned upon by employers. So if our entire community needs to take a day off after, say, a Thanksgiving break on that Monday, Sometimes it's frowned upon, but a community may support it, may not. So to make a drastic change to what we've historically not done without any data to support that would probably be premature at this point. So we kept the calendar the same for this year, and as I mentioned, with every intention to survey community for the future. It also absolutely plays into staffing. Coming back from a holiday and having professional development that next day may or may not be welcomed or not welcomed by staff, and I would be putting words in their mouth if I thought that that was helpful or not helpful to them.
But just to clarify, what my conversation would be, for example, we have a professional development day on December 9th, which is a Monday. Rather than it on the 9th, why not have it on the 2nd, which is that day back after Thanksgiving break? So it's still a day that students have off of school and that parents still need to find childcare for.
Absolutely, I don't
So it's not
disagree.
additional.
I'm not saying it's additional. What I'm trying to explain is that when I spoke to other superintendents, the feedback and the sentiment was, if a family has to take off, because not every family or working parent or guardian of our district has the 27th or 29th off. So if they take vacation the 27th, 29th, and then additional, they have to take that very same day off, sometimes it's more difficult than waiting another week.
Right, but I just want to make it abundantly clear so that if it's, if
No, we're not looking to add or
conversation is quoted somewhere, that it's not adding extra days off, it's taking already scheduled days off and just moving them so that the teachers have that buffer, so that vacations can be a moment where you don't have to worry about work.
Correct, and I do think it's a conversation as well as to what type of professional development we want to have on the 2nd. If you come back and you have a whole day of professional development, how much work can you get done, and is it more taxing on, and I know, again, these are just questions we need to ask our staff. Yep, but yes, I agree, we're not adding professional development days, we would just be moving them.
So Mel, do you think then, is it something we can do before the end of the school year to know?
No, that would be a very challenging survey to get out and get feedback and then change this calendar again.
Okay.
Usually calendars are set in stone by now, and usually changes don't happen at this time. However, I would definitely welcome the next superintendent to come in and work with them to get a little bit of feel for the staff and the community.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the one-page school calendar for 24-25 as presented.
And I'll second.
Motion by Sarah, second by Yvonne. I think it's just a voice vote. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes carry. Thank you.
Okay, next is the report on communications audit and planning report. So I have the pleasure of bringing in Donovan Group, Brian Nickel from Donovan. He's here to present. We've got a pretty, about 100-page audit report, presentation to present tonight. No, there's tip-off tonight. We're not doing that. We actually have a pretty short slide deck, but if anybody is interested in looking at the report, it is available on the board docs. So you can download the entire report and see it. It has been, it's been an informational and knowledgeable experience for me, and I appreciate all the work that you and the committee that has worked on this has done for this. A lot of good feedback from the committee, a lot of good feedback from the survey. So I'm going to hand it over to Brian, who's going to take us through our presentation.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I appreciate being here today. My goal for this evening is to share findings of the recent communication audit, and also share some elements and initial steps in a communication plan. It's a 6-month plan that we developed, and we're prepared to expand that to an annual plan under the leadership of the next superintendent. So briefly about myself, again, my name is Brian Nickel. I'm in my 2nd year as a partner in the Donovan Group. Prior to that, I was 17 years as a teacher and administrator in the Green Bay area. And just on a personal note, my father and my grandfather served on the Board of Education in our hometown of Toma. So I'm very appreciative for the recognition of the work for Danielle and Brenda and Doug tonight. Briefly about our firm, we're proud to be based here in Wisconsin. We are proud to focus our efforts exclusively on public schools, and we're proud to have been doing that for 20 years now. And we're grateful for the partnership with Port Washington-Saukville School District. We've been able to work with the district on projects in the past, and we're thrilled to be partnering again in this work. So So from a process standpoint, some background on the audit and planning. As Mel mentioned, the interim superintendent and I convened a communications committee in November. That committee included 16 staff and community members, and it was my role to facilitate the input of that group during the audit process. In terms of data collection, we deployed a community engagement survey, and we provided some longitudinal and subgroup analysis based on the committee's guidance. And we used that comparison to a similar community survey that the district completed back in 2021. In addition, I completed 10 phone interviews with staff and community members, and our firm also completed a website audit of the new site a few months prior to its spring launch. The committee interviewed and reviewed all this data to support the compilation of this communications audit report. I understand, as Mel mentioned, that's in your board meeting packet along with all the other materials and reports that I referenced. Our firm used those audit findings to support a series of recommendations for consideration. I'll review those in a little bit more detail in a moment. And then lastly, the interim superintendent and I drafted a 6-month communication plan for the district, and it's aligned to those audit findings. Ultimately, we discussed whether an annual plan or a 6-month plan would be most appropriate. We decided on a 6-month plan to support the transition both of the current board to some new board members and also for the incoming superintendent. And our firm will be here to work with the new superintendent and their team to develop that 6-month plan into a subsequent annual communication plan. So as we transition into the details of the presentation, I want to just point out that I'm going to focus primarily on the communication audit process and primarily on the communication plan. However, I'm pleased to take questions on those or any of the other elements in your board materials tonight. So the communications inventory. This was a series of 10 interviews, phone conversations I had with community members and staff members. In addition to the highlights here, I would describe an overall theme of those conversations as a sense of constructive care and concern and investment in the success of the district. And that was true whether it was a community member or a staff member who I was speaking with. I'm very grateful to Heidi for organizing that group and setting up those interviews. In terms of the communication survey, from a process standpoint, we launched that survey in January of 2024. We had 565 respondents to the survey. The detailed analysis of those responses in comparison to the 2021 survey are included in the audit report. We also have a separate report that outlines the responses just from this 2024 survey in your board materials. This work is going to be of great value, I believe, to the incoming board, to the incoming superintendent, as we work to expand this 6-month communication transition plan into an annual communication plan for the district moving forward. So as an introduction to the recommendations, I want to read briefly from the summary of that page in the audit report. This is the summary of our findings for the communications audit. Based on the Donovan Group's analysis, it is evident that perceptions of the Port Washington-Saukville School District have changed in the 3 years since the last community survey. However, the district maintains a commitment to continuous improvement in its communication efforts, and that intent was noted in the data collected as part of this audit. The district and the Board of Education have an opportunity to build trust and improve satisfaction with the quality of communication and engagement with its key audiences, its staff, its families, and its community members. The frequency of leadership changes and the communication surrounding those events were identified in survey responses and interviews as contributing factors to shifts in perceptions in the last 3 years. Refocusing time and resources on effective communication strategies and tactics could have a significant positive impact on the community's awareness and perceptions of the effectiveness of the district and its leaders. Below are some communication-related opportunities for the district and ideas upon which a communication plan can be developed. Those recommendations are here. I'll share a little bit of detail in each of them for you. So first, to build trust with clear and consistent communications. And that work, I believe, is underway as the board is engaging the public to build trust with the upcoming screening and hiring process for the superintendent. I know you have a lot of work ahead of you this week in that regard. Similarly, the district's facilities planning work, as it relates to budget development, is also an opportunity to keep community members informed and up to date on process steps and decisions. Next, improving digital communications. The district's social media presence has been limited. One of the decisions we made early on in this process was to not wait for the results of the audit to begin supporting the district in its social media communications. So starting in January, we were providing Facebook posts and graphic design and other content. We've been continuing that throughout the superintendent search and screen process as well. In addition, the new website launch, as of the printing of this report, said it was back on track. Since then, you've launched it, and congratulations on that. That's a big undertaking. Investment in maintaining those two digital communication channels, both social media and website, is going to build connection and confidence in the district as a source of facts and a source of information. Next, we recommend to consider investing in communications staff, and it's my understanding the district has already reassigned some FTE in that regard as it relates to the management of the website and potentially social media channels. We think the district should continue to explore assignment of communications functions dedicated to a staff member who would support public relations. Noteworthy among those functions, in our view, are the relationship development among local media, management of those digital channels, like I mentioned, website and social media, and oversight and distribution of consistent district communication and positive storytelling with broader audiences in mind, perhaps newsletters, perhaps video. Engage non-parents and staff, and again, these recommendations are not in priority order, but the most common theme, both in survey responses and in my interviews, were to engage non-parents and non-staff in our community. We should continue as a district to seek ways to engage this audience and those who don't have a current direct connection to our schools. It may include outreach and events, as well as cultural, learning, and recreational opportunities offered through Port Washington-Saukville School District. I think an important highlight here that really jumped off the page in the survey was the extent to which survey respondents 65 and older identified the local newspaper as a key source of information. That is not the case that we see in communities across Wisconsin in the last 5 or 10 years. It is clearly the case here with a key audience. That's a really good opportunity that you have that media outlet here in this community, and it's an opportunity for improvement for the district. And lastly, a recommendation is to tell the district story. It's easy to say and hard to do. There are so many good things happening in the school district. I know I felt as a 6th grade teacher, my wife as a kindergarten teacher, we had so many amazing stories to tell at the end of each day. It takes time and intent and energy to share those stories and to break a window to the wow into your classrooms. We think that dedicated resources to inform and engage and inspire the community would be well served by the district. We think it could also include marketing opportunities for some of the district's unique programs, perhaps the summer school program that we heard a little bit more earlier tonight. Transitioning from an audit process to inform a planning process. Here are highlights of that 6-month plan I referenced earlier. We identified 4 strategies, and including a little level of detail here in addition to each strategy. So in terms of telling the district story and sharing positive news, we think we need to develop a process that staff can use to share those news and updates. We think that process can feed both social media channels and the development of a district newsletter that we're going to explore and recommend for the fall. Strategy 2 is to expand and improve on the digital presence and communication efforts. This is probably the one that was already underway. There was already momentum existing at the printing of this report because in our estimation and the estimation of the committee, it was not worth waiting to begin work on something that we knew was important. Next, strategy 3, to engage the community around the district's facility planning work and the development of the 2024-25 budget. Sometimes it feels like telling the story and sharing the good news of the district is much more interesting and exciting and engaging than that other key crucial work of facilities planning and budget development. But I think what we saw with a record number of districts going to an operational referendum here in April, it's important for districts to consider engaging those conversations year-round, not just when there's a need to initiate those conversations with their community. And then lastly, right in front of us is the opportunity to introduce the new superintendent to the community. We have some ideas on how we can do that. We've been supporting Heidi and HYA throughout the search process, and we'll continue to do so after your big news is shared in the coming weeks. So next steps as it relates to Donovan Group, as it relates to my work with the interim superintendent, is to prepare for communication of the superintendent hire, and then bringing that new superintendent up to speed on the communications audit, the communications plan, and aligning that future work to their vision and your vision for them. We are going to develop a district newsletter process for the September 24 launch. We want to be able to get some good process steps in place yet this spring while school is in session so that we can have a new publication for the community, for the staff this fall. And then we want to be able to update and revise that communication plan at the new superintendent's convenience and at their priority as we head into the next school year. That was a lot at a fast pace, and I know there's even more in your board documents. So I'll do my best to answer any questions you might have.
You mentioned the 565 respondents. In district our size, how does that percentage of respondents compare?
Yeah, we met the floor of 300, which is about a minimum that we would want to try to achieve to have a good valid data set. In the past, I know the district has had higher numbers of responses in a survey. Typically for a community-wide survey, for a district this size, we might see closer to 800 to 1,000. In the moment, we still feel this is a valid data set. It gave us good data and good comparison. What we decided to do as it relates to a process step is we did not mail an invitation to every individual home. We felt like as the board had announced a decision to transition leadership and open up a search for a new superintendent, we really wanted to try to get this survey and this process wrapped up as quickly as we could. We did advertise in the local paper, in addition to being able to reach out to families and staff directly via email. So I do think if we, in the future, were to do surveys of community, being able to plan a little bit further ahead and include that postcard invitation, I think we would see that response rate up near 1,000 like we've seen in the past. Thank you for the question.
Okay, I have a very bizarre question about communication, but this is just something I noticed the other day. We have like a billboard, or the high school has a sign. Do you know what I'm talking about? And it's never updated, and there's never anything on there. And I know this sounds like a petty, but it was just something I noticed after dropping my daughter off. Like, how come nothing is ever on there? How come someone can't drive by and see? Like, is that something that's in this, or is this a completely off-the-wall thing? But I remember, you drive by places now, nobody keeps those signs updated. So do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, and I can speak from personal experience. And
That'd be great.
I might defer the logistic question to Mel in a moment. But I think as districts contemplate of the last 15 to 20 years, the explosion in our ability to communicate digitally.
Yeah.
I think a lot of districts invested in software processes, some invested in hardware processes, another invested in people to drive those processes. And ultimately, I think it takes a combination of those three things. So in my experience, when I left my 6th grade classroom and became a communications director in my former district, that is 10 years ago now, we decided to focus on as few channels as we could, as few different ways to communicate, and try to really ramp up and raise the floor in those areas. The risk, I think, and I don't know whether or not that's happened here, but the risk in expanding and trying to reach as many audience as you can through as many channels as you can is you don't have anyone minding the store at the end. And so one of our observations and one of the themes, both in the survey data and in the interviews, was that having some dedicated staff to perhaps update the marquee, or perhaps engage with media on a regular basis, update the website, that can really make an impact. And people will notice those things. People will notice as you drive by if there's news on the marquee.
I mean, we've had like huge events. I mean, I'm just thinking about Apocalypse this past weekend. That was huge. That was like not just district-wide or state, that was region. That was the Midwestern region. And it's not, yeah, and high school, middle school, high school, and college level. And we don't, and I'm just thinking about like the retired teacher who's driving past, like, oh, what's going on at the high school? So I'm probably completely talking out of line, but.
One more remark before I turn it over to Mel in that regard. I think you've aligned really well recommendation 3 and 5. And that is, we need to tell the district story. We need to share those good news opportunities with audiences that might be harder to reach, like folks who don't currently have a connection to the district. And in order to do that, you have to have people dedicated to thinking about that every day.
Well, Kirsten, I wanted to bring that up too, because if you think about this, what do we see at TJ? There's a digital sign, I think, like Lincoln. And so it's like, as a high school, we don't have that, but that's something that we had talked about just as a family. Like, that would be so great to have, because that solves the problem. You have somebody sitting behind typing stuff out and go, or an event that comes across on the weekend where you can just plug it in, load Saturday, load Sunday, versus somebody getting out there in the snow, opening up, it's like putting the gas station numbers on back in the day. It's like, why go through that when we have all this new technology? So you're not off base.
And And that sign, a number of years ago, we talked about, there was some potential planning of that and changes of that. It also was at the time where I think the city was going through a sign change, where they didn't want digital, they didn't want lighted things. So it was really hard to sort of say, okay, why are we staying to have somebody put up letters on a weekly basis when we could be going digital? And I know that the city back at that time was also re-looking at, do they and should they and can they and where can they? And are the limits like around just city size and like how far out for no digital signs, and we were right on that cusp of it and stuff. So part of that was on a pause way back then as well, and never kind of brought up again. So that was a little bit of the history of that sign as well a couple of years ago. Any other questions for Brian?
I guess, so then, going off of what you said, and Mel, like, do we have someone, is that like part of Zach's? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not putting something off, but do we have?
Are you asking if we have dedicated staff to that?
Yeah, do we have dedicated staff?
Not currently. We have allocated some FTE to do the website at the district office. Zach does help with the website as well, and then Heidi is managing. So we have a number of people putting their hands in and allocating some of their own FTE towards this process. That's what, Brian and I spoke about, is there an opportunity in the future? And I know this has come up at the board even for the last, since I've started here, is there dedicated FTE? We do have some data, and Brian and I are collecting that currently. We can present that to the board as to, do we want to go that direction? The data in other districts may or may not support that, and we can present that for sure. But right now, the FTE in the district office standpoint has been allocated or reallocated to include this marketing communication piece, which is why the website was able to happen.
So let me just clarify, so we have that one FTE, or?
No, it's not one.
It's not one?
No.
But it's a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here?
Correct. We're right now, as any district probably our size does, sometimes we have to piecemeal some things, and people get assigned some tasks that, as they become more efficient at their job. So Matt Thiel, Zach Moeller, and Heidi really are the three that are in charge of the various communication efforts right now, including Facebook, website, newsletters, and then we partner with Donovan right now, as we obviously are contracted with them. So we've been utilizing and leaning on them quite significantly at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would describe that change typically for districts as a dimmer switch change, not a light switch change.
Okay.
It typically moves forward in a way that Mel describes, where you're piecemealing some time and hours from multiple people throughout the course of the week as you're trying to raise the foundation of a communications effort. Then eventually it gets to the point where you are creating some mouths to feed in terms of these communication channels. And in order to do that well and effectively, you might eventually then look to bring on a position that might be half and half, for example. One element of research that we were able to complete, and since Mel mentioned, I'll share, is that we just did a real high-level analysis, and we saw that in the North Shore Conference, 7 of the 9 districts have dedicated FTE, someone who's got communications or public relations in their title.
Yes.
And additionally, we know that through the Wisconsin School Public Relations Association, 125 districts in the state of Wisconsin currently have dedicated communication staff. That's about a 10% jump from when my position was created 10 years ago in my district near Green Bay. Port Washington is around 75th by enrollment, which means that there are probably some larger districts that don't have communication staff, but probably 50 or more smaller districts that do. So it's something that we don't advise lightly. We're certainly not trying to talk our firm out of an opportunity to continue working with the district, but we do think it would be impactful.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you for the audit of I was looking through the audit of the website and the detail that it went into. I know it got up and running right around spring break. I think it looks really good. Been playing around with it. I know as we use it, there'll be input as far as what is now difficult that used to not be difficult, and where are things, and just everybody's kind of got to get used to where things are now. But in the overall, thing, looking at the schools as well, the links and the continuity, the more continuity that we're getting, I think, from page to page is really nice as well. So thank you for the hard work for your for your firm. I think that this has been a plan. This has been something that we've talked about for a number of years. I think those have been on the school board for a number of years that we know that we've always had to do this. It was a matter of finding the time and the resources and stuff, so thank you.
That brought me to a question. I read it, and one of the things, if people find something that's either incorrect or something that isn't working well, I think there was like a form that people are supposed to fill out. How is the community, like if we just have community members that go to the site and realize that, because I was trying to find a staff directory, and it was brought forward in your report that it was hidden in About Us tab or whatever, instead of it just being like on the home pages of each individual building and having a staff directory that automatically people could click on if they need to email a staff member or whatever. So there's a way internally for people to fill out a form. What about if a community member found something that either wasn't working, was incorrect, they think could be in a better place? How would they go about doing that? Letting us know.
There are typically 3 sets of data when you launch a new website that you can use to refine, because a launch isn't a moment, it's really a long on-ramp, sometimes a year or more to get it really at full functionality. So I think the back-end analytics of that data, I know CMS for Schools, is that the partner that, it's a great Wisconsin-based company. They're going to be able to provide some information about which pages are most visited, maybe even some heat map tracking of what people are looking for and where they're going on the website, and that can help you make some adjustments. I think that common, the click here or ask us a question, that kind of resource can be available. I think as the district promotes the launch of the new website and the resource availability for folks who don't have a current connection to the website, it can be as simple as call the district office.
We do have a pop-up. So if you go to our website right now, it is a pop-up. And within that, there either is or we can add it. We can add the link. Fill out the form if you find something wrong, too.
It's like finding all the seats and buttons in that new car. It's going to be great once you know where everything is.
Is that it for the communications?
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian, appreciate it.
Yep. Next up is just a quick report on superintendent search. This is the last time that we had a report. March 19th, HYA presented the board with 19 potential candidates. The board narrowed those candidates down to 6 top candidates. Last week, on the 3rd and the 4th, the board conducted the first interviews with these top 6 candidates, and we then narrowed it down to the top 2 candidates on April 4th. The top 2 candidates, we have Dr. Michael Jewick, who is currently an assistant superintendent of operations of the Howard-Suamico School District. He also has experience as being a district administrator at Bristol, director of teaching and learning, building level administrator at Campbellsport and Tomahawk, as well as teaching positions at Trevor Wilmot, as well as Grafton School District. Our next top candidate was Dr. Michael McMahon. He is the current district director of teaching and learning at the Grafton School. He also has had teaching positions at Grafton, Chippewa Falls, Poinet District, and has also been a building level administrator at the Wausau School District. So those are our 2 top candidates who will be coming forth this week. Tomorrow evening, or tomorrow actually all day, we have a day in the district for both of them. They will be touring every single building, meeting with the principals. They'll be spending time meeting with different focus groups as well. Want to let the community know that tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. there'll be a community forum in the high school new gym for Dr. Jewick, and at 7 p.m. there'll be a community forum in the high school new gym for Dr. McMahon. Then on April 10th, starting at 10 o'clock, there'll be an open session final interview for Dr. Jewick. And at 7 p.m., there'll be an open session final interview for Dr. McMahon. Starting after that last and final interview, approximately at 8 o'clock, the board will be going into closed session, and at that point, we will be deliberating and deciding and hopefully pulling forth our final candidate for that. So there's a lot that's been going on in the last 2 weeks. Hopefully by the end of this week, we will have our top candidate. And Just want to remind everybody again to visit our new website where you'll find the tab for the superintendent search on the home page. It's on the left-hand side. It's quite visible on the left. And all this information that I've shared and any past information is also listed on there. So please go to that. And I'd like to also let everybody know that at the community forums, there will be a QR code for anybody that's visiting at those forums. It will be linked directly to the board information in our portal. So your feedback will be uploaded, it will be analyzed, and it will be presented to the board, sort of immediately and as you do that. So there is going to be direct link and ways to communicate your input for those two candidates for us. So we do encourage everybody to come and participate on that level as well. So that's where we are on the superintendent search.
Brenda, you may have said the wrong time for the interview.
Yeah. I did?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
You said 10, so.
Is it 10 o'clock?
Yeah. That's okay. I'm not going to be here at 10 o'clock.
Sorry.
So the other thing is, are we going to offer for people in attendance to the interview the QR code also? I thought that was the plan. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think also at the interview, yes.
They have to be here, though, in person.
They do, yes. Yes, there'll be yes, yep, there'll be 2 QR codes and Tuesday and Wednesday, correct. Okay, I think that's it. Board committee updates, I think we have an executive committee. Oh, I think, yep, Karen's gone. After discussing possible renewal of the district's subscription to the Wisconsin Association of Boards online learning platform to assist for the future board training of new and continuing board members in attendance are in favor of resubscribing to the service. Future board training topics were discussed, and the following future agenda items and training topics were established. The election of board officers and committee appointments assignments at the April 29th regular board meeting. Board training on roles and responsibility of school board members and new member training on May 6th, and a board workshop on May 20th at the WASB's school board meeting self-evaluation, annual board development tools, and to establish summer training and board goal setting. So a lot of training in the upcoming April and May for board members. The following possible future board agenda topics and priority work for the board committees were discussed. Continuing for the board work with the City of Port Washington and the Village of Saukville. Options for final review of superintendent interviews, which we discussed are going to be coming up the next day or two. Providing the board with a list of all district-wide committees to determine board member representation as part of the board reorganizational meeting. The communications audit report and next steps. The timeline for sharing the superintendent profile on the district website. The process for collecting and sharing data with the board from exit interviews conducted with resigning and retiring staff members, including the possibility of interviewing new staff members after they have been with the district for about 6 months, and an update on the district's self-funded insurance plan in July. Board members provided district-level administration guidance on items of concern, requesting information and or updates on the following items. Current practices throughout the district related to discrimination and racism, a review of the district's bullying policy for possible updates, a timeline for hiring of the PAC manager, which we have and is working already, any remaining Skyward and payroll issues, and how administrators incorporate survey data in their school improvement skip plan. And after that, the meeting was adjourned. District committee updates, I don't see any. Upcoming board dates are in your board packet in your update and listed on your information. And last but not least, adjournment. So let's ring the bell. There, wow, it's loud. So do I have a motion for adjournment?
I will motion.
Everybody.
Motion
Yeah.
to adjourn.
Yvonne, second? Justin, a second. All in favor? Thank you very much, everybody.